how to get most results out of your compound lifts. All right, if you know me, you know I'm a huge fan of compound lifts, but I do them in a very specific way that not a lot of people follow. And since I started doing them that way, trust me, my gains in terms of muscle mass hypertrophy, not strength, but gaining muscle mass went through the roof, and I started gaining a lot more muscle mass and lowered my risk of injury and just seeing greater results overall. All right, so the compound lifts, the bench press, the squats, the overhead press, the barbell rows, the pull-ups, you know I'm a huge fan of those. The overhead press with the shoulders, all right, back squat, deadlift, bench press. So we have to do them, especially as naturals. It's very important that we have them in our training plan, not because only it gets many muscles working at the same time, but also because of their impact on your nervous system. All right, it impacts your nervous system, your hormones differently than just a machine, and also works many muscles at the same time, so better results overall. It works all the stabilizers muscles. For example, you're doing a barbell back squat, it's so much more powerful than doing a leg press because you're working a lot more muscles, the stabilizers, your core, your lower back, your glutes. Anyways, you know it all. So, but the way I do them are differently. Most people, what they would do is they would go sit on a bench press, for example. All right, they would start with the bench press. That would be the first thing that they'll do, the first exercise, because they want to lift the most on the bench press. And they'll do your typical 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps and going almost to failure on each set. All right, so pushing till the last rep as they can't do any more. All right, so every single set they're pushing all the way to failure. They're adding a little bit more of weight because they think that's what they need to do, progressive overload, quote unquote, and they think that this is how they need to be doing it. But then eventually they realize that their chest is not looking that much better, that much bigger. They're not gaining that much muscles. Yes, they're lifting a bit more, maybe at 5 pounds each side more, but big deal. That's not what they want, all right? So if that's your case, look what I do and try to follow it. So first thing first, I never start with a big compound lift. I pre-exhaust my muscle first. So instead of just jumping on the bench press right away, I would start with maybe a fly exercise or a push-up just to activate, turn on my chest. A lot of people start, they go on the bench press, they don't even feel their chest. They're feeling their shoulders, their triceps, because their chest isn't activated yet. And you know what? Your chest is bigger than your shoulders and triceps. So your shoulders and triceps will get to failure first. So you're not seeing a lot of muscle growth from your bench press, even though you're going to failure, because it's your triceps that's failing, because it's a smaller muscle. You're fatiguing also your body. All right, so the goal is getting our muscles to failure, but still having those compound lifts to get the impact on our hormones, our whole system, and working those stabilizers muscles. So what do? Listen to that. That's what I do, work well for me. I go on a bench press, like I said, not the first exercise. Maybe after I did my flies, my chest is already activated. I had a good blood flow from one exercise where I'm just pre-exhausting. Now I'm going on my bench, and let's say I have, let's call it 135, one plate each side. All right, that's, I would do more, but let's say I'll do 135 and I'll go for, my max would be 10 reps, all right? Hypothetically, I'll go for 10 reps would be my last rep to failure where I can't do anymore and I have my my head all red. What I will do is I will stop at 8 or 9. All right, yes, 8 or 9. I would stop at 9, keep 1 rep in the tank, put the bar back. And then what I'll do is I'll jump on the floor and I'll do push-ups to failure. All right, I'll do push-ups to failure. Push-ups, I love them. They're not taxing on your nervous system as a compound lift. And failing on the push-ups will not risk injuries because you'll just fall on the floor. It's a body weight exercise, very low risk of injury, not very stressful on the nervous system. But imagine failing on the bench press or on the squat. I see a lot of people, their set of squat, they're going balls out, ass to grass down, all the way down. The last rep, I feel like I'm gonna have to call the ambulance just by looking at them. And I'm like, do you really need to go that crazy each single set, last rep? They're done. They're done. What do you think this does to your nervous system? Yes, you gotta shock your nervous system and impact it positively, but doing those each set, going to crazy failure like this each set on those compound lifts will just overtax your nervous system. You'll burn out, you'll start increasing your cortisol levels. Now your stress levels are so high, and then it's not beneficial anymore. You're not in a good state to build muscle and burn body fat and just perform well. Your body is just so stressed at this point. All right, so instead of failing on your squat, stop 1 rep or 2 reps even short of failure. You do not need to go to failure on the compound lift, but put it back and now go for lunges to failure. That's what I do every single time I squat. I finish with 20 reps of lunges each side. I get those squats to failure and the burn is just crazy. And now because I'm isolating each leg and I have no weight, I can really get in that muscle and feel a crazy burn and get my quad to failure like this. Don't get your muscles to failure with the compound lifts, guys. Anyways, when you're going to failure, you're overstressing your nervous system and the little muscles are getting to failure instead of your big muscles, all right? And the risk of injury is just so high. Going to failure on the deadlift is just so high. It's like you're destroying yourself in the wrong way. All right, that's not what you want to be doing. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna be overtraining. If there's an overtraining, that would be it. All right, you will be overstressing your nervous system, and the risk of injury is so high. Same thing on the overhead press. I'll never go for the last rep where I can't move and I'm shaking. No, stop 1 rep first, and maybe go grab some weights and do some lateral raises. Get that dealt to failure in another way, in a way that is less taxing on your nervous system, that will get your muscle to failure, lower the risk of injury, and you know what? The next set, you'll be in a lot better shape to start your next set. Imagine going to squats to failure and complete failure. How do you think you'll feel in the next set? 2-3 minutes is not enough. Trust me, after 2-3 minutes, you'll have to do it again and do it again. It's like someone kind of destroying themselves, and again, your nervous system will just be too overstressed. And a lot of people do that. They go to failure because, you know, the thing with the mind meds or training plan is that it kind of encourage a lot of people to do the high intensity train to failure. Each set you shouldn't not move anymore. This is better for people that are super advanced and that they know their body, and you can't go to failure on each set. But now I see people that are beginners trying to go to failure. They're compensating, the form gets very bad. They're on the bench press, their butt is not on the bench anymore. They're overcompensating with each muscle. The risk of injury is so high. They're spitting from everywhere. It's like, come on, do you really think that this is what you need to do to build a big chest? Guys, take it from me. People say I have a good chest. Well, I never go to failure on my bench press. Never. All right, I'll stop 1 to 2 reps short. I'll jump on the floor. I do push-ups. And I do this technique with every single big compound lift. So with the chest, I'll finish with push-ups. With the rows, barbell rows, I do pull-ups. I'm a big fan of pull-ups. Every time I'm doing something for back, I'll do a set of pull-up after to bring my lats to failure. All right, and I do my pull-ups in a very methodical way. Very specific way to really hit my lats in the right way. For my squats, I'll do lunges. I finish my squats, boom, lunges right away, 20 reps. I can do like 200 reps of lunges or push-ups or pull-ups on my chest or back or leg day. All right, so use those bodyweight exercises, add them to get your chest to failure, to get that muscle to failure without necessarily overstressing your nervous system. Now, this could be done, let's say after the chest, you can do incline fly, you can do machine flies. It doesn't have to be a push-up. After the legs, you can do leg extension. All right, but don't exhaust and destroy yourself and your nervous system, but rather always get back your focus on the muscle. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of compound lifts. You need to do them, but you don't need to go to failure, absolute failure on them. You can go more to failure on machines, but the compound lifts, they're good. They give you that nervous system stimulation. They impact your body well. They work many muscles at the same time, but you don't want to overdo it to a point where it's becoming counterproductive. That's it for this video. Leave a like, leave a comment. Hopefully you learned something. This is how I train. That's just the reality. This is how I train. You won't see me lifting the max PR on my bench and going for the last set where I can't do anything anymore. And guess what? I've been progressing. It's been going well. And I used to do that. A lot of injuries, burnt out, a lot of injuries, and just didn't see a lot of results in terms of gaining muscles. Watch others of my video. Leave a like, leave a comment. Thanks all for the support. If you need online coaching, go on my website. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Sharif.sd, almost 50,000 followers. And that's great. We keep going. Stay natural, guys. Thanks all for the support. Ciao.